Hello everyone. In this video, we're going to be taking a look at an article from USA Today. It's written by Bart Jansen and was published on September 28th. GOP House panel to question Rod Rosenstein on reports he sought to wire, quotes, Donald Trump. Now, what gets me about this whole situation is the fact that this should be done publicly. And they're talking about doing this behind closed doors. That's my first issue with this. Second, it's kind of how they're like approaching this. Oh, well, he's saying it's not true, and USA is trying to back that up. It's really funny. I mean, they are, but not directly. As we go, you'll see what I mean. A Republican House task force has agreed to meet with Deputy Attorney General Rod Rosenstein for a closed-door meeting about his statements about President Donald Trump, according to a lawyer who had called for a hearing. Oh, according to a lawmaker. Sorry. Wow. I don't believe I saw a lawyer there. Well, they're all pretty much lawyers, but... So, yeah, you have them calling for the hearing, and to me, he should just be fired at this point. I mean, everything is ridiculously piled up on him on the note of guilt. He should be looking at a prosecution. Not being treated with kid gloves at this point. Rep. Mark Meadows, RNC, tweeted Friday that the House leadership has agreed to call Rosenstein for a closed-door meeting so he can explain his alleged comments on wiring the president. I love this. Alleged. Multiple, he said this to multiple people, but we're going to just call it alleged. If Rosenstein fails to show up, he would be subpoenaed, said Meadows, a member of the Freedom Caucus of several dozen conservative Republicans who have called for a hearing with Rosenstein. And this hearing should be public. Because how is this a matter of national security? The only time you go behind closed doors is usually, for the most part, is national security, classified information, or sensitive information. This is not sensitive. This is something that the public has a right to know about. That Rosenstein wanted to literally wiretap the president illegally so that he could collect dirt on him in order to try to, as they're trying to frame it, get him on the 25th Amendment. But I'm thinking it was more blackmail than anything, because he's a sleazy scumbag, deep state shitbag. I mean, you look at the type of smirks he gives in front of Congress. It's like Strozik, whatever, the one who was sleeping with his little biddy there that sold him down the river. Stroke. Which I'm surprised no one has had one at this point, with how they're like being found out and rooted out, and even though they're still in their positions, I mean, people know that they're sleazebag, deep state shill, DNC, deep state shill shitbags. If Rosenstein fails to show up, he would be subpoenaed, said Meadows, a member of the Freedom Caucus of... Yeah, all right, I read that. I'm sorry. As part of the House Judiciary Committee Joint Investigation and Oversight Responsibilities, we've invited Deputy Attorney General Rod Rosenstein to come in for a private meeting in the coming weeks, Judiciary Chairman Bob Gaudette, Republican Virginia, said in a statement Friday. We are working with the Justice Department on details and will relay more information about the meeting soon. There are many questions we have for Mr. Rosenstein, including questions about allegations made against him in a recent news article. We need to get to the bottom of these very serious claims. Yes. Okay? I mean, you literally have him and Stroke and Mueller. These are all deep state lifers. These are the types that hang out in the bureaucracy of government. These are the type of people you have to worry about when another country goes to subvert their government. They don't go for the political positions, that are outwardly, outwardly there. They go for the middle management and bureaucrats of upper middle management, the ones that are out of the spotlight, the ones that actually, because they've been there for so long, have influence and clout and can accomplish things. I mean, that's what this guy is. That's what Rosenstein is, hands down. A spokeswoman for the House Speaker, Paul Ryan, Republican Wisconsin, referred questions Friday to the Judiciary Committee, but said Ryan supported the panel. The committee on Thursday subpoenaed memos from former FBI Director Andrew McCabe. The New York Times has reported that McCabe's memos recounted comments in 2017 by Rosenstein in which he allegedly suggested tape recording or wiring Trump and of potentially using the 25th Amendment to oust him from office. So these are actually two separate things, but they're trying to portray him as one. You know, because the 25th Amendment bullshit aspect of this is bullshit, because they're not going to prove that he isn't, you know, fit to run the country. But they're trying to make it sound like that they're mutually exclusive, and they're not. Because to me, it sounds like this was more a blackmail situation than a collect data for the collect dirt for the 25th Amendment to be used, because it couldn't be legally used anyway, because they don't have a warrant for it. They have no reason to do it. So it's not like they could actually use it for that. And you got to say McCabe is a fucking moron for actually documenting that shit too. I mean, these people are so blatant that they don't even think about stuff like that. Rosenstein has strongly denied the Times story, but it raised the prospect that either Trump might fire him or that Rosenstein might resign. And here's the thing. This is actually coming from McCabe's notes. You can deny it all you want, but this is supposedly right in there. The meeting with Rosenstein will include... But before I go on. And why would McCabe lie about it? He has no reason to. The meeting with Rosenstein will include Republican members of the panel, including members Trey Gowdy of South Carolina, Jim Jordan of Ohio, John Ratcliffe of Texas, and Ken Buck of Colorado. Rosenstein had an extended phone conversation with Trump on Monday, according to White House Press Secretary Sarah Sanders. He had originally been scheduled to meet with the president Thursday, but that meeting was postponed until next week because of the hearing for the Supreme Court nominee Brett Kavanaugh. I'm calling a little bullshit there. I think Trump was going to fire him, but now they're actually starting to go with an investigation, so he's postponing the firing because he would rather, I think, have him in his position and under investigation than fired right at this moment, because at least from my perspective, it bodes better for him. Because if he fires him, they're going to go, oh, well, he got wrongfully fired, with the legacy media spurging out. That's all they're going to say. Oh, he fired him. He's in the wrong. Yeah. Stupid shit like that. So if he keeps him in and he's going to actually be investigated and they have this, damning statement made by him, I think Trump is like, well, let's see how things play out, because I believe he was actually going to fire him, but a fire got lit under the asses of these people here. In the congressional side of things, and it led to hopefully an investigation that will actually see something come of it. But the problem is this should be public. The hearings should be public. You have all this shady shit going on with Strzok and his woman and Rosenstein and all of this real shady shit, Mueller, the FISA courts, and Rosenstein just rubber stamping shit. This should be public. The American people have a right to know. And especially with this wiretapping, illegal wiretapping fucking thing. I mean, that makes Watergate look like a fucking joke. In comparison, on the note of what's legal and illegal. That would be like jaywalking with Watergate. And you're leaning towards, the idea on the not actual act of it, obviously, but more towards the murder side of things with what they were doing. On the note of severity. Leadership, okay, so Mark Meadows, let's see what his tweet said here. Leadership has agreed to call Rod Rosenstein before Congress for a closed-door hearing with our panel investigating, so he can explain his alleged comment on wiring POTUS as well as other inconsistent statements. If Mr. Rosenstein fails to show up, we will subpoena him. You should just subpoena him in the first place, so he has to tell you the fucking truth. That's another thing that I have a problem with this. They want him to come down, not be under oath, because they subpoena him, he shows up, he's definitely under oath. If he shows up voluntarily, odds are they're not going to swear him in, especially in a closed-door situation like this. And he'll be able to lie. It won't be in front of the American people, and nothing will come of it. But if they put him under oath and he lies, he's fucked. If he's subpoenaed and he's then compelled. So if you compel him and then swear him in, anything he says that's bullshit, you can nail him on. But they don't want to do that. I mean, this is kind of somewhat dog and pony. It's like half-ass. What's going on right now with Rosenstein is like half-ass, because they know if they pull this thread, then there's another thread to pull and another thread to pull and another thread to pull. And they know that some of them are going to end up going down in this shit. Like on the note of the congressional side of this. Because you've got this in-bed situation, deep state shillery going on. No pun intended in relation to Hillary. But yeah. Trump said Wednesday that he preferred to have Rosenstein stay, but that he wanted to talk with him. That's what Trump's saying publicly, but I'm sure he's like, I want him out of here. I want to be like, you're fired. I want this asshole to come to my office, and I'm going to be like, yo, motherfucker, you're fired. Get the fuck out of here. You know, that's what I'm expecting on the inside. That's the unofficial I'm picturing. Rosenstein oversees Special Counsel Robert Mueller's investigation into Russian interference with the 2016 election, so his departure would be contentious. No, it wouldn't be an issue. Not really. The investigation is independent to an extent. It's autonomous. I mean, yeah, you do have to report to someone on it, but someone will take Rosenstein's place. Trump has repeatedly criticized Attorney General Jeff Sessions for recusing himself from the investigation he calls a witch hunt, which it is a witch hunt. And Rosenstein for now, and Rosenstein for how it has been handled. Well, yeah, because they both dropped the ball if Rosenstein isn't a fucking shill. Then he's just a moron. But no, he's a shill in all actuality. He's a deep state shill. As part of his oversight role, Rosenstein has authority to dismiss Mueller, but he has consistently voiced strong support of his work. Well, of course he has. He's talked about illegally wiretapping the fucking president. He rubber stamped the Pfizer fucking warrants based off of bullshit. Based off of based off of intel that was collected by British intelligence and Steele and Fusion GPS and yeah. He's basically in bed with they're both they're co-conspirators. I mean, we have a major RICO type situation going on here. Honest to God, it's racketeering and corruption. Literally, the definition of the RICO Act, the shit that's going on here with the deep state is like, they could literally, have like the idea of the Dark Knight type of Harvey Dent mass indictment with RICO of government employees and officials from all rank and file. They could, if they actually pulled one thread and then the next and so on and so on. Because corruption is rampant throughout the United States government. Mind you, it's not third world tin pot dictator corrupt, but, like most Western governments, the U.S. is clearly corrupt in the government itself, the people in it. I love this next line. The special counsel is not an unguided missile, Rosenstein said in a March interview with USA Today. I don't believe there's any justification at this point for terminating the special counsel. An unguided missile. Oh, so what you're saying is Mueller, far exceeding the scope of his investigation, was guided. Who guided it? You? Is that what you're getting at? Because that's what you're kind of saying. Because the thing is either Mueller, because he's gone well beyond his scope. So he's either running roughshod over you and he's doing shit on his own, or you're guiding him. And I'm going to go with the latter. I really am. But Oh, God. I mean, this is the type of shit that gets me. We now actually start to see the corruption and the deep state shillery and the deep state operatives that shill their agenda. We're now starting to have the curtain pulled back. And what does Congress do in interviewing him? They want to pull the curtain closed and have a private conversation with him that he'll voluntarily go down on, won't be probably sworn in on. With a subpoena, they would have to swear him in. And he's going to talk out his ass, and he's going to lie like he has been, and it's going to be like, there's nothing to see here. And you're going to have those ones like Gowdy that are legit saying, yeah, this is some serious shit, and they're going to, report on what they can, but because it's closed door, they really can't talk about it. I mean, that's what's going on with this. And Trump needs to say, guys, you should be doing this publicly. I want a transparent administration. That includes you as part of it. Because the American people have a right to know on this. But, hey. Anyway, I've covered this well enough. I'm just going to leave things here. If you liked this video, depending on where you are watching it, please give it an upvote or thumbs up. If you want to know when new content of mine hits the internet, don't forget to subscribe to one or more of my social media or video accounts listed here. Also, with YouTube, don't forget to ring that bell. You can find all of my video content on both BitChute and YouTube. This may not be the case with other places I upload to, but I will try to minimize this happening. You are always welcome to interact with me at any of these sites on the list, so feel free to do so. If you have anything you want me to cover in a video, when it comes to news or current events, send it right along to me. I will try to do my best to cover it. As always, thank you for watching.